Tara Melvin with the Signature CEO Conference, and I am bringing to you Speaker Insights, where I am talking with our illustrious speakers, getting you a little touch of what they're going to be speaking about at the conference and just about, who they are. And today I am excited because we have returning to the stage once again. Well, she really didn't come to the stage last year because of, that old ugly C word, COVID. But we're bringing her back because she gave some information during last year at the conference that was on fire. So I said, I've got to have her back. So welcome, Ms. Ticora Davis. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm blessed. I'm so thankful to be here again. Thank you so much for allowing me to return. I hope you're doing well too.
Yes. So instead of me giving a long bio about how excellent you are, kind of give an insight to people as far as who is Ticora Davis.
Well, I'm attorney Ticora Davis. I'm an attorney. I'm creative. I'm a lover of people. And so I started my law firm 4 years ago to help legacy-driven entrepreneurs who are pioneers. They're thriving in their purpose and they're called to build big things. We help people like you. If that sounds like you, we help those people protect their brands so they can grow their business with peace of mind. So that's
Awesome. And you're in North Carolina. I'm a Carolina girl myself. Now, are you originally from North Carolina?
Born, raised, and educated in North Carolina.
Oh my goodness. So where are you from in North Carolina?
I'm from a small town called Salisbury. Salisbury, North Carolina. So that's where I'm from.
Okay. Awesome. So let's get into it. You're coming to the Signature CEO Conference again this year, 2021. Oh my goodness. 2020 just took us all for, a whirlwind and back. But hopefully this year we're going to, see the light at the end of the tunnel. And yes, most definitely. And you're coming to talk to us about expanding your intellectual property portfolio. That's a lot. And I'm sure it is going to be a lot. So kind of enlighten people as far as what they're going to learn. Give them a little bit because we want them to have their butts in the seat at the conference, get that ticket, and you'll expand.
Yeah. So most of the people who attend the Signature CEO Conference, you guys are already, most people, not everybody, but pretty advanced in terms of you already have a lot of the basics covered. You may have your business entity formed. You have some strong contracts in place. There's probably going to be some updates to those contracts in light of COVID. And you already have intellectual property. And so we'll be talking about what is intellectual property, which most of people know that there are trademarks or copyrights or even some, signature proprietary courses and frameworks. And so how is the best way to expand on the existing knowledge that you have? So I saw a lot of those who are in the service-based industry, wedding industry, they began to pivot and bring their smarts online because there are lots of people that they needed to help, and there was a larger audience for them to be able to reach. And so going from having a primarily service-based business and either pivoting completely or adding a new stream of revenue when it comes to digital products and online education, that's something that a lot of people kind of were stepping into new waters. But they actually began to create valuable intellectual assets. And so what is the best way to expand on that knowledge base and then also expand on your existing intellectual property? How do you make stronger trademarks? How do you leverage your existing trademarks to create new ones in your business so it can make your brand stronger? And then you can secure market share in the marketplace and make sure that people know, hey, this is that particular brand, that house of brands that this person is creating, and here's where we can go to get a variety of support. So I want to speak with you all about that because that's very important for those of us who are looking to monetize our smart and make more.
And this is for anybody that's in our industry, right?
Most definitely. No matter where you are, whether it be that you're someone who's really getting into this industry, you've been in it for years, this is some valuable information that we can discuss with you. Not only about how can you expand the intellectual property portfolio, but even some other business structures that you should be looking at that could be beneficial from not only a liability perspective, but from a tax perspective as well.
Awesome. And I love this, especially with you, because just by listening to what you're saying and stuff, you're getting people to think about their business and open their eyes up to say, you know what, you have a lot more going on than you think you do, right? So you're opening their eyes up to their own value because, you know, as entrepreneurs, we just work. Sometimes we don't understand what lies up here and what we're just giving away. So I love that.
I think additionally too, because you all are so amazing at what you do, you're naturally gifted and talented. Not saying that it's not hard, but this is your purpose. And in your purpose, you're able to do things and create and dream. Many times we discount our natural gifts. So when we have a tendency to discount or even minimize, oh, everybody knows how to do that. No, everybody doesn't know how to do that. Everybody doesn't know how to create or plan wonderful events, whether they're online or virtual. Everyone doesn't know how to create beautiful floral arrangements. We're just saying that, or we're thinking that because we're naturally gifted and talented at doing it. And even myself, you know, I've been practicing law for 4 years. And sometimes I think, oh, everybody knows that. No, everybody doesn't, Ticora. There's a huge skill set and knowledge base that I have, and sometimes I undervalue it. So what I want to do is allow people to take a pinpoint at the knowledge base that they have, add value to it, and then say, how can I spread my gifts to the world? And how can I use the law to protect my brand and protect my gifts so I can continue to affect lives and make change while I can do that with peace of mind?
Mm-hmm. Protecting yourself and, you know, bringing value to yourself.
It's the law to protect my brand and protect my gifts so I can continue to affect lives and make change while I can do that with peace of mind.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Protecting yourself and, you know, bringing value to yourself. So, how did you get into the law?
Oh, wow.
Did you grow up saying...
I did for a little bit. I saw in 4th grade, I think that's where it changed for me because it was the O.J. Simpson trial, and that was on TV a lot. And so that was my first interaction with this is what a lawyer is. And I distinctly remember seeing Johnny Cochran on TV, and I thought he was really cool. And that's probably why I talk in like rhymes and I love to rap, because I remember if it don't fit, you must have quit. And I was like, whoa, this guy is amazing. And so I actually saw this strong, powerful Black man. I wasn't quite understanding of what was happening. I think that was like really where racial implications were coming in and how that could affect the law. So I saw that as well. It was a huge thing on television and a huge conversation in my house. And so from that moment on, I began to say, I want to be a lawyer too. And what do lawyers do? And do lawyers help people and things like that? And so my parents said, yeah, lawyers can help people. And, you know, there's different types of lawyers and things of that nature. So from that moment on, I began to say, I want to be a lawyer. And so I'm always been very soft-spoken. I was actually painfully shy growing up. So people would say hello to me. I would start crying. It was really bad. So it's very sensitive. And my father, God rest his soul, he told me, I don't think you're strong enough to be a lawyer. Now, he later apologized for saying that to me. But I think he saw lawyers as people who had brute strength and they were aggressive and things of that nature. And so later he said, I'm really sorry for saying that to you. You are strong enough to be one. But that's kind of what allowed me to kind of rear off of the law path. And I went and I got a biology degree. I thought I was going to be a doctor. But I'm very thankful for that pivot in the path, because that's how I was introduced to how science and the law connect through intellectual property. So it actually worked out for my benefit that I have a very diverse background in terms of my education. And then through the scientific path and conducting research on genetically modified tomatoes, my lab professor said, we need scientists in Washington and we need lawyers in science. And I'm like, what? And that's when I began to hear about, oh, we have patents. And I'm like, oh, well, what's a patent? And so actually intellectual property, I was first introduced to it in a science laboratory. And so that was my first introduction to law. After undergrad at North Carolina State, I said, man, I know I don't want to be in a lab. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with my life. And I got an opportunity to go and to become an intern on Capitol Hill with Congresswoman Marsha Fudge. And so as I was interning on Capitol Hill, and I finished my internship, I remember, I don't want to say I marched into her office, but I definitely went in there and I said, you should hire me as a new legal assistant, because they were losing their press secretary. And she was like, kind of looking at me like, and I was like, listen, it's going to be very difficult. I can't believe I said that. I was so bold, and I'm not a bold person. I was like, listen, it's going to be hard for you to find someone. I was like, I already know the systems. I already know the office. I've been training for this for 16 weeks. I can come in and I know how to answer the phones. You know, I can be a legal assistant. And so she gave me a job as it was a staff assistant, and a legislative correspondent. And so that was how I got the job. And so then I continued to work there for another 8 or 9 months. And while I was there, I began to see how the nation's laws came into play. I began to kind of, be with her, like when she went to like different committee meetings. So I kind of started like being with her. She was a member of the Science and Technology Committee. So my science background came into play there. So I was just really understanding things, and said, I really want to pursue law school, and maybe I'll be one of her legal counsels, and come back. And so she was like, hey, you need to go to law school. Like at first I was like, well, maybe I'll wait. She was like, no, you got into law school, you're going to go. I was like, oh, well, goodbye. She was like, this job will be here for you if you want. And so that's kind of what happened. The path to success is full of zigs and zags. So that's how I got back into the industry and fell back into love with law by taking this very unconventional pathway to what I do today. Yeah. And I'm so thankful. To have this opportunity. After I graduated law school, I was actually an intellectual property analyst. And again, that science background came into play, where they said, wow, you have a science and law background. That's exactly what we need. And I began to work with hundreds of inventors, because they would submit their ideas to the place that I worked in hopes that the company would say, hey, we're going to take your idea, make it into an invention, and bring it to market. And so I was in the same building as seen on TV, and there were engineers working next to me building different things. And so the most enjoyable part about that job was not conducting research on patents. That wasn't enjoyable. The most enjoyable part for me was interacting with the inventors. And so that entire time I was there, I began to understand, why are creatives so passionate? Why are inventors so passionate about their ideas? And I saw the frustration when their ideas didn't come to market and when people didn't see their vision. And so people began to really enjoy speaking with me. And so I think that was me saying, wow, there's something here. There's something here and more that I could do. Even though I became a lawyer while there, they never asked me to conduct legal work. They continued to use me as an IP analyst. I said, I can do trademarks and I can do contracts. I have that. But they didn't want to leverage those particular skills. And that's okay. I could not do the work that I'm doing now while there. And so that's kind of like what allowed me to say, I know I want to work with these types of people doing legal work and helping them. And I know that I could do that. And so I wasn't able to do it as an IP analyst, but I'm so thankful for the foundation that it laid, because it allowed me to really understand the heart of the clients that I serve today.
Awesome. That is so great. Well, I'm excited to have you at the conference again this year. Oh my goodness, my eyes turned off. I'm excited to have you at the conference again this year. And why are you speaking at the Signature CEO Conference?
Oh, I'm speaking at the Signature CEO Conference, one, because this was a dream of mine. When I started my law firm, I remember another amazing wedding creative, Atosha. She said, you should speak at the Signature CEO Conference. I said, what's that? And she was, it's like the conference that you want to speak at. This is where your clients are going to be. This is where those top creatives are going to be. And I was like, okay. And so I remember looking, I was like, oh, shoot. I don't know if I'll ever be able to speak there. So one, it's just a dream come true to get to a point in my career where I've been invited to speak not once but twice on a platform that I dreamed about 4 years ago when I was starting. I'm speaking here because I know that when it comes to legal protection and so many things that have happened, especially in our, the entrepreneurial environment operating in within the past year, it's very scary. The legal stuff is scary, contract law is scary, and this stuff is really what I do well and what I do right. I love love that I can speak in an intelligent manner. I know that I'm easily understood. And after each of my sessions, no matter where I'm speaking at, people walk away empowered with the legal knowledge that they need to protect their smarts. So I'm excited to be able to bring my gifts to the stage so that people can now walk away and say, here are some things that we need to consider when it comes to protecting our legacy. This is all about not only protecting what you have now, but what you're going to have next.
Awesome, awesome. Couldn't have said it any better. This is why you need to purchase a ticket, ladies and gentlemen, and be at the Signature CEO Conference. So you can soak up all this knowledge here. Soak it all up. And I was stalking you just as much as you were stalking me. So I'm excited and thrilled that you are at the Signature CEO Conference. And Ticora, before we say goodbye, tell people, how they can find you.
The best way that you can connect with me is on Instagram at Ticora Davis, my first and last name. And from there, you'll be able to see my different house of brands. And so you'll be able to connect with my law firm on that page, as well as my new platform that will be launching in April 2021, which is Protect Your Smart. And so you'll be able to connect with us there. So I invite you to find me on Instagram or by visiting creatorslawfirm.com.
Awesome. Well, I'm totally excited. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to soak up all this knowledge and protect your intellectual property portfolio, we're saying portfolio because we are a brand. We have a lot of things that we need to protect. So get your ticket. The information will be rolling down here at the bottom of the screen, along with how you can connect with Ms. Ticora. All right. So we look forward to seeing you at the Signature CEO Conference. Thank you so much.